My name is Giuseppe Martinico. I teach the comparative public law at the Santana School of Advanced Studies in Pisa, and we are in charge of work package number 5, which is devoted to populism. Namely, we're gonna explore populism as a disruptive factor in the EU social contract, and we're gonna focus on how populists in power abuse categories of constitutional law and how they weaponize constitutional law by codifying in the fundamental charters the image of the enemy. So basically, our work is going to be divided in 3 sub-work packages, and they will be devoted to 3 pillars of what we call the constitutional counter-narrative of populism. So namely, we're going to focus on the radical majoritarianism, so how they try to present the chains of constitutionalism as they were in contrast with democracy. And second point is we're going to focus on what we call the politics of immediacy, so how populists actually reject the idea of mediation and the role of representative institutions. And finally, we're going to focus on identity politics. So how they present the majority as the real people and why they neglect and marginalize minorities. So we're going to study the main elements of this constitutional counter-narrative advanced by populists, where we're going to debunk this constitutional counter-narrative, and we're gonna make some normative and concrete proposals to improve the EU social contract. Well, they tend to, use a concept that for sure belong to the categories of the constitutional law, like the people, sovereignty, identity, in an exclusionary manner. So they tend to use these categories as they were weapons to marginalize those who cannot be traced back to the majority. And this is terrible because in so doing they end up breaking the social contract. They end up polarizing societies. And actually, we're gonna show why this kind of approach is misleading. But we are also going to see whether some of the claims advanced by populists can be made compatible with our idea of the constitutional democracy. So we're not going to adopt a merely defensive approach. We know that our liberal democracy is in crisis, so probably reforms are needed, and we think that perhaps some of the proposals advanced by populists sometimes can be made compatible and can be useful to improve our constitutional democracy.